Good day. Today, I will be presenting a paper conducted under the supervision of Dr. Arturo Pacificador Jr. and Mr. Frumencio F entitled A Procedure for the Generation of Small Area Estimates of Philippine Poverty Incidence, the case of Region 8, Eastern Visayas. Poverty, as defined by Encyclopedia Britannica, is the state of the one who lacks a usual or socially acceptable amount of money or material possessions. Looking at the bigger picture, poverty is a general indicator of how well a country is moving to ensure economic growth that would provide the citizen a better quality of life. Poverty has always been a challenge in many countries in the world. In fact, according to the 2015 World Bank estimates, 9.6% or 700 million of the world's population are living on less than $1.90 a day and are considered poor. Because of this, poverty alleviation program has always been a part of each country's development programs. Thus, a study about poverty is deemed important. There are many small area estimation techniques available. So far, the official methodology done in the Philippines to generate small area statistics is the one conducted by the National Statistical Coordination Board, or NSCB. They estimated the poverty and expenditure in the provincial and municipal level using the Elbers-Lanjo and Lanjo methodology, or ELL. Regression models were utilized from the FICE for the purpose of predicting income based on variables common to both FICE and CPH. However, based on the results, the municipal level estimates do not conform to the regional estimates. In this regard, a similar approach was done by Pacificador in 1996. The income and expenditure variables were attached to the CPH data using deterministic regression. Both methods employed deterministic regression approach in imputing data. However, the downside of using deterministic regression as a model in predicting income and expenditure is that it is the same as the class mean imputation, wherein the predicted values are the average values of the dependent variable and the fitted values will have grouping effects. So the plan of the study is first to address the weakness of the deterministic regression imputation and to calibrate the estimates to conform to the known regional estimates. For the objectives of the study, first is to employ deterministic regression and stochastic imputation-like procedures similar to stochastic regression. Second, to compare the accuracy of the imputation methods. Third, attach the income in CPH using the best imputation method, to validate the models internally through bootstrap methodology, and to utilize the calibration techniques to ensure that the small area estimates conform to the known regional estimates. For the methodology, in this study, two datasets were used, the FICE 2009 and CPH 2010. From the two datasets, common variables were identified, and some statistical tests were done to determine whether the two sets of variables are measured in the same way. For the model building, imputation-like procedure was applied, the deterministic and the stochastic regression. Model building was done in the first three replicates of FICE and was validated using the last replicate. After selecting the best model for the income, the estimates were attached to the CPH and poverty incidence was computed. The estimates were calibrated so that the values conform to the regional estimates. And finally, the estimated values were validated using bootstrap methodology. As a result, Table 1 shows the distribution of income using stochastic regression imputation. It's closer than the distribution using deterministic regression imputation. The Kolmogorov-Smirnov test shows that the maximum difference is less than the critical value, which leads to the non-rejection of the null hypothesis. Thus, SRI produces income that has the same distribution as the true income values in FICE, while Table 2 shows the summary of the number of poor households, poverty incidence, and their corresponding standard error using stochastic regression imputation with and without calibration. The result shows that the number of poor households produced with calibration is almost the same as the number of poor households in FICE 2009, which is 290,391. The stochastic regression imputation is off by only 4 households as compared to the SRI without calibration. The poverty incidence is higher with calibration, but the standard error is smaller. Notably, the estimates without calibration are quite far from the estimates with calibration. This does not mean that the stochastic regression models are wrong, since the FICE estimates are subject to sampling error and may in some cases be further from the true values. FICE estimates were used to calibrate the produced estimates of stochastic regression in CPH. In conclusion, the stochastic regression imputation, or SRI, is better than the deterministic regression imputation, or DRI, in attaching the income to CPH. The SRI was able to preserve the distribution of the income as compared to DRI. Since the errors in fitting the DRI in CPH do not follow a well-known distribution such as the normal distribution, the non-parametric method of estimating error called KDE was used to generate the errors attached in SRI and was found to be effective in using the stochastic regression. The calibration technique achieve municipal estimates that conforms to the regional estimates. For recommendations, as claimed by the PSA in their official poverty statement on December 6, 2019, the official poverty statistics show significant progress in increasing overall income. Accordingly, the poverty incidence for Eastern Visayas dropped by 10.3% in 2018. However, there is still a need in reevaluating the enhancing poverty alleviation programs in this region by targeting the poor efficiently using the small area estimation or municipal level, especially the procedure utilized in this study. Through this, the regional and provincial leaders should modify the poverty program depending on the poverty level of a certain municipality because despite the drop, the region remains one of the poorest in the country. Since the CPH focuses mainly on the socioeconomic variables, the researcher highly recommends that health variables should be included in the small area estimation models. This is because small area estimates based on poverty may not always provide the best possible estimates on health. Thank you for listening.